Okay, there we go. Yeah, man, I was frantic, brother.
It's all right.
I've never missed an interview.
We got you. There's no need to worry, my
Yeah.
man. We got you
All right.
on a
Thank you.
on a fantastic Wednesday afternoon. How's everyone doing? It's the Teddy Bear, and welcome to Night Traxx Radio. And today's Artist Spotlight, musical director and producer of the three-time Grammy Award-winning, the legendary Sounds of Blackness. It is my honor to welcome to Night Traxx Radio, Mr. Gary D. Hines, my brother. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, my brother Teddy Bear, man. It's on behalf of Sounds of Blackness. It's a great honor. Thank you for your brotherhood, your friendship, and your support. We appreciate you more than words can say.
Absolutely. I've been waiting a long time to get you on the show since we made this changeover to doing virtual interviews, which have been fantastic. The lovers of music and the audiences are loving it. And we
Okay.
got a lot to talk about. George Floyd, the
Yes.
police, the new single, of course, Woke featuring Quan Howell. We
Yes.
just got a lot to talk about. First of all, I want to start off with racism in general in this
Yes, sir.
country. It's been magnified even more now since as far as the advantageous use of cell phones now, where people can capture
Yes.
exactly what's taking place when before it was just hearsay. And I wanted to ask, it really shocked me as far as a lot of people would think, as far as Minneapolis concerned, as far as the Minneapolis sound, there wouldn't be, wow, it's hard to believe there would be actual racism in Minnesota. And people really truly don't know. There's a lot. Minnesota has a of
Yes.
history of racism, even though there's certain sectors of Minnesota that are very diverse. There's still a
Right.
large sector that is filled with racism. And I wanted to ask you, when all that went down and they went to when it went to the extreme where they said, we want to defund the police department. That's how bad it
Right.
got out there. And I wanted to ask you, in the process of making a new single, Woke, what was going through your mind when you seen the things that have taken place over the years in Minneapolis, and also the flashpoint as far as what happened to George Floyd?
Well, my brother, you've touched on a number of things, and I'll try to condense them, but address all of them.
Okay.
Um, Minneapolis, just like the United States of America, is really an anomaly. The reality, of greatness and the side by side with things like injustice and racism, and all of those are simultaneous realities, kind of thing. And certainly here, so in Minneapolis, Minnesota nice is a real thing. A lot of great people here, but under the
Right.
veneer of that, as you alluded to, in many quarters, is still, the vestiges and of racism that this country was founded on, and institutional racism. So, regardless of how nice people individually may or may not be, the institutional racism manifests itself.
Right.
That's part one. In
Absolutely.
fact, I'm a native New Yorker, and that I'll explain that, the relevance of that to you, to
Okay.
my answer in just a moment. But I'm a
Sure.
native New Yorker, and our family moved here to Minneapolis, several years ago. But a longtime friend, one of the first friends that I met here, in fact, probably the first, a leader named Spike Moss. One of the first things he said when we moved here from New York, and this was in the '60s, my brother. He said, "Man, watch out for Minneapolis police." He said, "There's not all of them, but there are many of them who refer to their billy club as their nigger knocker."
Really?
So fast forward to George Floyd, and as tragic and horrific as it was and still is, not necessarily an anomaly. Didn't just
Yeah.
happen in a vacuum. There was a culture, not the entire police department, but there was that component that has an element of that in the institution. Just like that conflict, that contradiction is rife throughout American institutions and communities, across the board. So we were alerted to that no sooner than we got off the plane from New York, kind of thing. So when George Floyd was murdered, and my brother, that happened 5 blocks, just 5 blocks from where Sounds of Blackness rehearsed in the heart of the black community here in South Minneapolis.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, we rehearse on Tuesdays and Fridays, our vocal rehearsals. And he was killed on a Monday, and the first rally was on a Tuesday. So obviously, I canceled rehearsal. But I say that to say this: we were all at that rally, and it was amazing. And tens of thousands of people. The media downplayed how many people were there. You could not have fallen down if you wanted to. uh,
Right.
you know, Black, white, Latino, Asian, Native, men, women, young, old were there. And I say that to say this: a young lady came up to me who happened to be Caucasian, and she recognized me from the group. And she said, "Hey, Mr. Sounds of Blackness, you guys are one of my favorite groups." And she said, "I bet you guys are going to do a song about all of this." And she said, "But please do me a favor. Don't make it a happy song." And I said, "Young lady, you know what? I promise you that will not happen." And no sooner than I said that, Brother Teddy Bear, the words of Fannie Lou Hamer started to just ruminate in my brain. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sick and
Right.
tired of being sick. And those, a lot of people use that phrase, but they don't attribute it. That's from the great Fannie Lou Hamer. And we went to work right away, and within 2 weeks had the record and the video out, and that was specifically for George Floyd and for George Floyd Square, and we still do that. But fast forward to Woke, when Governor Ron DeSantis,
Yeah.
you're right, um, Freudian, some kind of slip there,
Boy, he is something
kept
else,
kept
man.
when he kept denigrating the concept of woke, and he and so many others, and he needed to keep it out of his mouth, and so did many others, because they didn't really realize what they were talking about. We woke was not an option for us and for your and my parents and grandparents. Woke being conscious of our circumstances and situation and whereabouts at all times, because if they were not woke and not conscious of their situation, it could cost them their lives. So
Yeah.
how dare they denigrate that? So the whole concept of woke, which really goes back actually to the 1800s. That's the other thing. Nothing under the sun new. Marcus Garvey talked about we had to be woke. The old great blues musician, Lead Belly, wrote a song. We gotta be woke, y'all. Got so this is not new to us, and it was near and dear to us. So Sounds of Blackness needed to create an anthem for today, when woke was so much in our everyday lives.
You know what I find so interesting? The overall totality of racism and politics in this country. They've always had the mentality of the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Behind the curtain.
you know, and
Yeah, baby.
yeah, he doesn't exist. Just keep focusing on what you see. Don't let your eyes deceive you. It's
Right.
not real. You're in the quote unquote outer limits, so to
Yeah.
speak. It's that type of mentality.
Yes,
And
it
as you just
is.
spoke on Ron DeSantos, I find it very interesting when certain individuals like him come together and they criticize the term woke. And I said, you know what? It's amazing when someone speaks the truth or they try to hold you accountable for your behavior, then all of a sudden it's an issue. It's a problem.
Yes.
You're causing trouble. It's that status quo, and it's I like to use that Calvin Candy mentality. They want
Yes.
to. They want what it is. They want that Calvin Candy. They yearn for that time of where everything was segregated. Yes sir, massa, and all this. This is what they want.
Yes,
This
they
is what
do.
the most powerful thing that we have is music.
Yes, sir.
Music unifies. It
Yes.
brings people together. And when you have such a very strong voice, especially like a group like the Sounds of Blackness, it becomes a threat because they unify people. And I
Yes,
wanted
sir.
to ask you, you've always had this status quo of the emphasis on unity. What kind of
Yes.
pushback did you receive when Woke was recorded and was actually released?
Interestingly enough, well, first of all, the short answer is a lot of pushback. And it's interesting because even going back to Sick and Tired that we did for George Floyd, and then to Woke, and the two are kind of joined at the hip, as you might imagine.
Right.
I talked to many program directors across the country, major markets, secondary markets, and they were like, Gary, we love the track and what it's saying. We love the sounds. We know we support you, but we're afraid of offending sponsors, and afraid of offending people by playing woke. And it's like, I found it so we got very little airplay. Fortunately, there were those really true black stations, and we understand that what we call black stations now, many of them are owned by the conglomerates, the iHearts and the
Yeah.
Town Squares and all. So we get that. But fortunately, there's the LTOL radios and the Sheila Browns in New York, WUFO, that are really down and ain't, as they say, ain't scared, kind of thing to do that. But the irony that got me, brother Teddy Bear, is that and I didn't call him out on it. Well, maybe I did a couple of times, but not as much as I should have. But the irony that got to me was some of the same ones that were concerned about possibly offending people by us singing about our condition and woke, were not offended to play wet ass pussy. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's what, yeah.
or anything. Kill the bitch, shoot the nigger. Not worried about that offending anybody, but something about our situation, our movement, and you're afraid and you don't want to play that. That's where my problem was.
But you know just as well as me that this has been going on since the music industry has begun, especially
Yes,
geared
sir.
toward black people. Anything that's self-degrading, they have no issue or
Yes.
problem with promoting it on
Right.
television and on the airwaves. As far as
Yes, sir.
reality TV, the different music, and it, we're gonna take because I had a lot to speak to you about. It's just like the whole thing with the quote unquote the controversy with Beyonce making a country Western album, and I sat back to myself and I was speaking to a good friend of mine about that. I said, I find it amazing. I said, we as black people have always had an open door policy for
Yep.
Anglo-Saxons to come in every genre of music, from
That's
jazz,
right.
blues, country, you name it. Open door
Gospel. Yep.
policy,
Yep.
sit down at our table. Even
Yep.
gospel music, going to Crystal Lewis, you name it.
Yep.
Always, but all of a sudden now, when you feel that you have a pigeonhole on a certain secular music which black people blues music,
Created.
created blues music and created
Yes.
country music. And all of a
Yes.
sudden now you feel like, wait a minute, we can't allow them in here. They're a threat of taking something from us. And I said, but wait a minute, a large majority of modern day country music is embedded in R&B and also in hip hop. So
That's right.
what am I missing? Is something missing here? Or are you just truly revealing what you think about black people?
I would say the latter, my brother. Because the ironies are just without end, and I know you're aware of them. I mean, the fact that they would try to continue to try to claim it as they always have. I mean,
Right.
we hear you ain't nothing but a hound dog, and instead of we don't think of we think of Elvis Presley instead of Big Mama Thornton.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on and goes. So they've always appropriated, misappropriated, ripped off any and all the above our music, our culture, and so on. But the ultimate irony in this country situation, the very heart and root of the music is an African instrument, the banjo
Yeah.
that some enslaved Africans peddled onto the ships. Some made while they were here, created from the banjo. Came the what they came to know as the country and game songs, the bluegrass. That was the root. That was the foundation of so-called country music, and was played exclusively by us for the slave master. And
Yeah.
they saw the popularity of it to the point where they created, as I know minstrel shows and coon shows. They actually call them that.
Yeah.
And then parodied us in blackface. That grew in such popularity where they started printing the records and all kind of things. It's like, no, we got to keep them out of this. So that's
Yeah.
how we were deliberately squeezed out, even though still at the foundation we were there. What the founders the founder of the Grand Old Opry, a brother, DeFord Bailey. I mean, it's like, how can y'all do this? So it just goes on and on. So I'm proud of the sister for reclaiming.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it a step further. We can go all the way back to vaudeville. They were notorious for doing plays as far as in blackface, as
In
far as the
blackface.
movies in the 20s and 30s and even in the 40s. You've seen a lot of stereotypical black people being portrayed as quote unquote mammies,
Right.
butlers,
Yeah.
maids, and you've seen people in blackface, even cartoons. I was speaking to my son about this. I said there were
Yes.
cartoons that when I was growing up, when they had the magpies.
That's
Then
right.
I even Mickey Mouse at times they were having certain characters in
Yep.
blackface,
Yes,
and
they
it's
did.
always been there. But I think collectively we have enough intelligence, we have enough wherewithal to understand what's going on. But I remember an interview that you did years ago, and it stuck with me. You said, "What I find so disheartening is that people will readily trade their souls away for
Hmm.
silver." That
Yes,
stuck.
sir.
That stuck with me.
Yes,
That really,
sir.
because you see it. People will literally still sell their soul for silver,
Yes,
for
sir.
fame. They would sell it for fame. I gotta ask. It's been a minute since the Sounds of Blackness actually came out with an album, and I would be remiss to ask, when can we finally get a complete album or an EP? It's been a long time.
LG, yes, sir. And we have in the past just a couple of years and are doing one now. I explain all three are developing and will be releasing some EPs. One called the Justice Package, where we've got all of our social justice, our movement songs on there. Everything from Black Lives Matter to Sick and Tired. Time for Reparations. They really didn't like that one. You know, they'd rather have us just sing optimistic. You know, Time for Reparations, Woke. So all of our content is on, and it's again, it's called the Justice Package. Royalty, all those are
Okay.
on there. And so
Okay.
we put that EP together, and that's available now. Yeah, obviously, you know, we're not on a label. We are just do everything independently. So from our website, soundsofblackness.org, and don't worry if you type .com, it'll still take you there. Oh,
Okay.
and please know for all of your listeners and followers, if you go to our website and purchase any of our merch or any of our music, we don't just talk the walk, we walk the talk. We donate a portion of the proceeds to the George Floyd Scholarship Foundation.
That's
So
beautiful.
know that yeah, contribute to that. That's what it's all about, man. We were blessed a few years ago, and we just lost him last year, brother Harry Belafonte,
Yeah.
um, who sold, as you know, hundreds of millions of records worldwide. Was an international star of stage and screen. I mean, on and on. But I was blessed to meet with him in his home several times in preparation for his Freedom Festival, and sounds were blessed to sing there with Common and John Legend down in Atlanta. But I say that to say this. Despite all those millions of records sold, my brother, and worldwide acclaim as an actor as he should be and all that, he said, Gary, he said, I want to be known as an activist first and an actor and artist second. And,
Yeah.
and he and brother Sidney Poitier almost single-handedly funded much of the civil rights movement expenses for Martin Luther King, for the transportation, for the buses, for the security, for the printing out of posters and all that kind of thing. Did it on the low, as they say. Didn't want publicity about it. But that's just an example of being an activist first and putting your art toward the movement.
Without question, a lot of times you have people that are strong activists and they're doing a lot behind the scenes. And that's one of the things that I've always admired about you. You're doing a lot, but you're out there in the forefront for everyone to see. And that brings me back to Prince. Prince did so much behind the scenes for so
Yes,
many
sir.
people, and people don't know it,
Don't
but
even know.
don't even know it. Don't even know it. He had done so much. When are we going to have an opportunity to see you guys perform live? We would love for you to come down to Houston. Lord knows that's all that's out here is nothing but a lot of churches.
Houston, Houston, Texas.
Yeah,
Where what my brother said, Dad, we're from Houston, where we dance just as good as we want. Now that's
there
before
you
your
go.
time. Archie Bell and the Drells, tighten up. Whenever I hear somebody say Houston, I feel compelled to say, well, we dance just as good as we want. But
There you
anyway,
go.
it's been way too long since we've been in Houston. We hope and trust to get there in 2024, brother. I promise you'll be among the first to know. But in terms of where people can and will see us, we're doing an event here, July 7th, Taste of Minnesota.
Okay.
That I don't know. I think it's going to be streamed. Jam and Lewis are coming in. They're doing a Minneapolis sound feature. So Morris and the Time are good. All the family people are coming in. Jesse Johnson, Andre Simone. So kind of like a reunion. So we're looking. That's July 7th, the weekend of July 7th.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, 4th of July weekend. But also we are blessed, my brother. Um, and I want all the ladies now to not to get too excited, but brother Idris Elba,
Okay.
he and his lovely wife. Sorry, ladies, yeah, he is married.
He is
He and his
married.
wife have a production company that is putting out, and if you hadn't heard this, I want to be the first to tell you. They solicited Sounds of Blackness just about a year ago. Um, they are putting together a six-part documentary in conjunction with the BBC and the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Company, called
Okay.
"Paid in Full: Black Musician Reparations." And
Okay.
speaking of Beyonce, Beyonce's in it, Jay-Z, Snoop, I mean, just a lot of different artists. And the way Sounds of Blackness were involved, and we're so honored by this and we're humbled by this. He told me, he said, we were looking for songs about reparations. So we Googled it, and they said the only group name that popped up was Guess Who? Sounds of
Really?
Blackness. So because we
Really?
sing about reparations in the woke song, and then
Okay.
obviously in the song Time for Reparations. So both of those songs will be featured in there. So look for us in that as well. That's coming out. I don't have an exact date yet, but that's coming
Okay.
out this fall.
Okay.
And one other thing, we're going to release a new single with our brother Buddy, little Buddy, we call him, great rapper, and the song is called "So Thankful."
Okay.
And his actual name is Andre Locke, and his son was yet another victim of an unjust killing by Minneapolis police, Amir Locke, if that name rings a bell, kind of thing. The
Yes, it
one
does.
that
Very
was,
much
yeah,
so.
again, basically killed in his sleep, and they went to the wrong apartment, the whole no knock thing and all of that. And Buddy's response to that, and he's a dear friend, 20 plus years now, was to still express faith and gratitude for his son's life and for all of our youth. And so he came up with "So Thankful." So this song is with Sounds of Blackness and features our own Jamesia Bennett as well, and Buddy. So we're going to be releasing that on
Okay.
May 31st.
Okay. Okay. Well, remember, family, to get all the latest updates, make sure you stop by the Sounds of Blackness official website. That's at soundsofblackness.org. And for those who are tuning in late, shame on you. But the teddy bear does forgive you, who being joined, of course, by the musical director and producer of the three-time Grammy Award-winning Sounds of Blackness, Mr. Gary D. Hines. We are streaming live on iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, also on Sirius FM. Yes, we're there,
Yes,
family. Lord
yes.
have mercy. But I got a surprise, a special surprise for all the many people that are tuning in, watching. We got the latest hit single, of course, from the Sounds of Blackness, called Woke, here on Night Tracks Radio. Lord have mercy.
You got woke. All God's children got woke. Woke. Everybody talking about woke and woke. We all got to be woke. Arise, raise the reason. We got to have hope. Wake up. We got to be woke.
Lord have mercy, ain't no joke. We gotta stay woke.
Ain't no joke, baby.
Let's,
Shout out to Houston in the song too, my brother.
yes, Lord. The
Yes,
sounds of
sir.
blackness, of course, will be joined by the legendary Mr. Gary D. Hines, brother. First and foremost, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us. This is your home away from home. Whatever you need, please don't hesitate to let us know. And family, the single is available. Make sure you stop by iTunes, Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer. And if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can always head over to Amazon.com. And remember to get all the latest updates. You connect with the Sounds of Blackness. Stop by the official website that's at soundsofblackness.org. Brother, thank you so much. God bless you. We love you. And we continue to respect your enduring qualities and to make sure that we remain woke. Lord have mercy.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you on behalf of Sounds of Blackness.
Thank you so much, brother. A super talented Mr. Gary D. Hines here from Traxx Radio. Hope everyone enjoyed the show. We'll be back on. You know what? I'm not going to even give you no more information. I'll just take what you need to do for those who missed the interview. We got you covered. To see the entire interview, make sure you stop by our official YouTube channel. That's at Traxx with 2 X's. That's at Traxx Radio Music Podcast. Also, be sure to subscribe to our Facebook page, Instagram, also TikTok, and also the artist formerly known as Twitter on X. Make sure you connect with us there and get all the latest updates. We got you covered. And also for those who missed the interview and you want to listen to the audio portion, we're on Sirius FM. Sirius, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Correct me if I'm not, I apologize. We're also on that. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify. We're on all streaming platforms. It's been an honor. Take care. Remember, remain woke. All we have is one another, family. God bless and keep it soulful here on Traxx Radio.